Welcome to another episode of Just Talk with Gabe. I'm here, my sidekick is here, and so is our guest. Let's get started. Who do we have today?
Today we have actor, director, and writer Alex Dean on the show.
Cool, and I also hear he's a Star Wars fan like me.
Oh yes, the Force is with you both. But before we get started, we have to give a shout out to our two sponsors, Fade Life Clothing and BCK Online.
Fade Life Clothing is a unique clothing line out of Atlanta, Georgia, geared towards those who love intoxicating style.
And BCK Online is a digital online magazine that keeps you in the know and up to date on the lives of young entertainers, rising stars, parents, and much more.
I'm glad they both joined us on our journey this season.
Me too.
Alright, go grab your snacks, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alex, welcome to the show. We are glad you could join us for an episode of Just Talk with Gabe.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being on. And our listeners want us to dive right in, so let's get into it. You are an actor, writer, and director. Tell us how you got started in the industry.
I really got started when I was about, if you can believe it, probably 4 or 6 months old. My parents showed me the original Star Wars. This is on VHS, so that's how you know it was way, way back.
Oh yeah.
So this is like before the specialized editions. This is like we still got Han shot first.
Right.
And I watched it. My parents said it was the only time as a kid that I actually focused on something.
Oh. Wow.
As an infant. I never focused on anything, but I focused on that. And I fell in love with movies and all that 80s and 90s movies all the time. Watched them like crazy as a kid. And it just kind of spiraled into acting from there. Learned more about directing and writing followed soon after that.
That's pretty
That
neat.
is pretty neat.
That is neat. I love 80s and 90s movies too. So
I like all movies.
80s and 90s are the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. My mom was sci-fi and all that stuff. My aunt was horror. So like at 4 years old, I saw the first Halloween. Probably not the best thing for a 4-year-old to see, but here we go.
Right? That's awesome.
Yeah. As an actor, what has been your favorite role to date?
My favorite one all time, and it's gonna be a hard one to beat for me, is I got to work with the very, very amazing comedian Jonathan Winters, who is a very, very classic old Hollywood improv actor. He trained Robin Williams.
Wow.
And he was in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Great movie. But I was on this short film with him called Babe and the Kid, and I didn't know who this guy was because I was like 8 or something like that.
Right.
And I was palling around with him, and just because I just thought he was a normal guy, like an older guy. And then when we were done, he signed a baseball saying, "You're going to win an Oscar someday," that I still have to this day.
Oh wow.
And he sent me a personalized letter and a check for $1,000, thanking me for the time we had on set and telling me to put that $1,000 towards the first basically payment of my college.
Oh my god. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's awesome.
He was a fantastic guy. If you haven't seen any of his work, it's really, really funny. Even now, even a lot of old humor doesn't stand up. His still does. It's really good.
Oh, that's an amazing story.
That is.
Wow.
What has been the one role that has been the most different from you?
The most different from me,
Mm-hmm.
I would say a while ago, this was early in my film school thing. I first thing, if you ever go to film school and you're not going to be an actor, don't tell people you act, because then you get invited to do every single role, and I'm too nice. my first quarter, 3 months, I was acting in 10 projects because I told my friends I acted, and it was a variety of stuff, but there was one where I had to play basically like an Ethan Hunt, like leading man, like Mission Impossible style.
Uh-huh.
And it was real. I was typecast as the Disney sidekick, so I had to play this cocky, like Tom Cruise kind of character. And what was fun about it is I got to do stage combat.
Oh, wow.
And it was an underground thing. So at one point they're supposed to throw me or like lift me up against the wall, and the actor who was the bad guy could do it. I said, just lift me up and throw me. So you see me in the film, you see me get thrown into this booth at this table, and he actually threw me.
Oh, God.
under this is behind the scenes secret. So we showed it to the teacher. He was like, "Wow, that was a really how'd you do that, son?" We're like, movie magic.
Movie magic is real.
Yes.
No, what's the name of that short? We have to see it.
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I can find it. It's called it's again, this is how weird it is. It's called the Hamburger Special.
Nice.
It was the strangest thing I've ever acted with one of my best friends, Ethan Munoz, who's a great director.
Oh my
Wow.
Yeah, he was always the weird always the weird stuff with him, and I love it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that is. So, as a writer, what would be the perfect project to write?
I would say it's something where they basically have signed me on. They said, write whatever you want to do, write your passion project. Don't worry about the budget.
Oh, no.
Because the worst
that
thing as a writer, man,
It's the budget.
is
yeah.
it's going into it. Like I grew up on, like I said, sci-fi 80s movies, and I also grew up on anime, which is very vibrant, colorful, exciting. So I have been told I have that kind of style. Like I think so. The most recent TV show I can think of that has a kind of similar style to me is The Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
Okay, yeah.
We watched like
With
10 minutes of it and still haven't been able to get through.
No.
The second season is phenomenal, but just like I think being able to just write whatever I want, write my passion project, and just not be in the back of my mind like, oh, how are we going to film this? How are we going to get money for this?
Right.
I think that would definitely be my dream.
Oh, that's neat. Now, in the same vein, as a director, what actually has been and what would be your favorite project to direct?
I think my favorite project to direct in my career would be anything Star Wars by far. I think if I had to be specific, if I had to be specific, I'm a huge fan of the Old Republic, which was a line of yes, you know, someone else knows. I'm so happy.
Okay, so you guys don't need me anymore for this conversation. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna check out.
Yes.
I played Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Oh, I played
and
the
that's
first
probably
game.
the second one is probably my favorite game of all time. I would love to just do something in that universe.
Yeah, that would
not
be so
specifically cool. Adapt them, and like I've even told my friends how I do it is you've beaten the first game, right?
Yep.
Lucasfilm, don't steal this. My idea was because there's the spoiler alert, there's a twist that you're actually the bad guy in that game. Right. I said the great way to do that for film is because you can choose between male and female protagonists. Yeah. Have there be a male and female protagonist, and you don't know, the audience that knows the twist doesn't know which one's Revan.
Oh, that would be so good.
Because, you know, in video games, when you can choose, like, would you like to be the male or female, you know, and it's different. I was like, why don't you have both? Why not both?
That would actually
make them dynamic characters. Yeah. And my favorite project I've directed is I got to shoot a proof of concept for my feature film script I wrote in one of my classes, and it was the most fun I've ever had on the set. Everyone was laughing, and it was really amazing for me because it was the first time I had really felt like I was excited about a project. You always have that nervousness sometimes with some project, but this was the first one that I had like confidence in. I felt great about it when it was done. I was just like, I was jazzed.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That sounds cool.
That sounds
good. So, out of your 3 career paths, which has been the most difficult to master up to this point, and why?
I'm gonna say writing is definitely the hardest, because it's always trying to find that line of, especially with genres, because, you know, you don't want a horror movie to be too funny.
Right.
You don't want a horror movie to be too scary sometimes. And you also got to think, is this character talking naturally? Is this how they would talk? Am I explaining too much? Am I explaining too little? You know, and you really have to think about it, and it can kind of end up bogging down the story, or sometimes lead to really good story like decisions. Sometimes the best story decisions are ones that you make trying to compromise with something. So I would say definitely writing is the most difficult, but also I'd say the most rewarding one as well.
That's good.
Nice, yeah. So where do you find inspiration for your projects?
I usually will weirdly clear my throat. I listen to a lot of music. That's actually where I get a lot of my inspirations for characters, for scenes, for anything. Like I'll listen to a song and I'll play it to a scene I've come up with in my head, and I can come to my friend who's a concept artist and say, I can tell you beat by beat what happens in the scene. And even when I cast for that proof of concept, one thing I did, because I did for all the characters in the feature, so like 30 of them, is I said these are songs that make me think of the character when I think of them. So every character had like 3 different songs attached to them. Like when you think of this, when you hear the song, this is the kind of character they are.
Wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting. So what is your, I guess, favorite genre out to listen to get you, your creative juices flowing?
Oh, like choosing my favorite child. I would say it's a hard tie between 80s rock.
Yeah.
So like anything from like even AC/DC to even like Journey or Bon Jovi.
Oh yeah.
Like we just the whole spectrum of rock, hard rock, soft rock, all that. And I would say Japanese rock, anime music, stuff like that, whatever you want to call it. I like it because there's something about, like, I don't speak Japanese, but there's something about that music that the beat of it or just hearing the words give me visual ideas for different scenes.
Huh.
So I think that one's really good too.
That's pretty interesting.
It is. So, like, who is one actor, writer, and director that you'd like to collab with?
Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah, he'd be great.
Ryan Gosling was just like, I have a huge man crush on him. I've loved him so much. I saw Blade Runner 2049 3 times in theaters just because he was in it.
Wow.
Wow.
He's great. I've loved him since La La Land. For a writer, I would say maybe this is cheating a little bit. I would say Jared Way, who's the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, but is also the lead writer of Umbrella Academy, the comic book.
Really?
He wrote it, and he actually, the reason why I recommend it is he came up with a lot of the soundtrack choices, I believe. So like the second season has like a cover of Bad Guy. It has I Was Made for Loving You, Baby. Like it was so many good songs. And for director, it's got to be George Lucas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to work with George Lucas.
Wow.
Just so I can hear him explain Jar Jar to me. I just want to know.
Okay, when you find the answer out, please explain that to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone needs to know.
Everyone needs to know.
Hey. So on that note, we're going to go on a bit of a commercial break.
Would you stay with us, Alex, and have a fun round when we come back?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, stay tuned. We're going to come back with Alex after this message from our sponsor.
Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Welcome back, guys. And if you have not downloaded the Anchor.fm app,
do it
and start making your own podcast today.
All right, Alex, welcome back to the show.
Thanks. Let's do this. I'm excited. Okay. Fun round.
Let's get into the next round. If you could write or direct any movie or TV show, what would it be?
I think we already touched on this, but I think
I will give a different answer.
Ooh.
to be dynamic. I will give a different answer. I would say that I would want to write a good Dragon Ball Z movie.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh!
A good one, or just awesome. I would even any anime. Like there's a lot of anime that I really like that I think it's a genre that doesn't really get like good live action publicity or really good works. I think Alita Battle Angel was the best one I've seen, where even my dad was interested in it. It's really, really good.
I actually know what Dragon Ball Z is.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
He's in the Macy's Day Parade. Goku's in the Macy's Day Parade.
Oh, wow.
See?
But he can't get a good movie.
Okay, Alex, you are on it. That is your mission. Should you choose to accept it, write a good one for Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
So, what is your favorite movie?
It's got to be the original A New Hope. I think a second close tie is La La Land, because I saw that movie at the Directors Guild before it came out, when I was at a time in my life where I was kind of like, do I really want to go to film school? Do I really want to do this? And I saw that movie and it kind of, something in my head just clicked and I was like, this is really what I want to do.
Wow.
But Star Wars 2, just for that initial spark. Both of them lit a spark in me, and they both are really important to me.
That's pretty neat.
You have to choose one. Would it be pizza or cheeseburger?
Oh, I'm a college student. I'm gonna say pizza because you can freeze that. You can put in the fridge.
Yep.
Meal for a few days.
Absolutely. Cold, rewarmed, cold again. So, oh yeah.
And we keep pizza for like days.
Yeah, we do. So yeah.
That's what I would do is I'd get Little Caesars and that would be like, all right, my meal for the next 3 days is planned.
Absolutely.
You have to pick one: lead the Rebel Alliance or the Galactic Empire.
Oh, I'm gonna get flack for this. I'm gonna say the Empire
Yes.
because I was always more into their designs
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything, especially when you go into like we talk about the Old Republic, the designs of like the Sith troopers
they're
from the
so
Old
good.
Republic. Oh, it's so good.
You have to take 5 things to Desert Island. What would they be?
A water purifier.
Right?
Let's see. I'm gonna say an instant rice cooker and instant rice, like a huge, because you can carry a huge batch of that.
Right. Yeah.
What else? A boat.
So you can get off. That's a good
Yeah.
one. Absolutely.
So I can get off, or maybe so I can come back. You
Yeah.
never know when you want to be alone. And a friend,
That's cool.
so I can complain about why we're on a desert island.
Living off instant rice.
Yes.
Yep.
Live off instant rice. That's awesome.
If you could pick one Star Wars character to be best friends with, what would it be?
I feel like I'm gonna have to say Luke, because I feel like hanging out with him would just it'd be a day.
Yeah, it would.
That's true. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to have to say Princess Leia for that one for you guys. She and I could be best buds. We could be princesses. What about you, Gabe?
That's also a pretty good answer.
See?
Huh. I don't know, really.
You can hang out with Jar Jar. That's who
Oh,
we're going to
no.
make you hang out with.
No, that was such a boring day. Okay. What are 3 things on your bucket list still pending?
Go to Skywalker Ranch. Visit Japan, because I've always wanted to go see the countryside of Japan, not even the city, just the really old countryside and stuff like that.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, it would.
And I'm gonna say to sell a script.
That'd be awesome.
Because we haven't done that yet.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you, either as an actor, director, or a writer?
As a director, it was on my proof of concept set. Basically, in the scene, the main character decides to pick up a record and start playing music to kind of toy with the person he's talking to. And I had a record, an actual record player on set, an actual record. It was a Billy Joel record of the Stranger, and I said, okay, just drop the needle down right next to it so it won't play the music because we don't need that on the audio. And he said, great, got it.
Right.
He did it so good. One of the takes, he dropped it and it started playing the song I'm Moving Out. The Billy Joel song I'm Moving Out. And it did not fit with the scene at all. And he was super serious in character. He kept going. And we started dying as he's snapping and saying all these intimidating things while I'm Moving Out's playing, and I tried to not die. Somewhere we have that take with the audio.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna have to see. That's the second thing on the list that we're gonna have to see from you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Okay, so would you rather visit Tatooine or Coruscant?
I am going to say Tatooine because weirdly, I feel like too much happens in Coruscant. Every time we see Coruscant, there's a coup, there's ships blowing up, there's people jumping, chasing bounty. Nothing happens on Tatooine.
You're right.
It's a lot more relaxing.
Yeah. Okay. In addition to all you have going on, what's next for you?
Right now, I'm getting ready to start working on my thesis, which I'm doing as an ode to old Akira Kurosawa movies and westerns.
Yeah, all right. That's cool.
So that's going to be fun. I'm also working on selling my feature script and also writing 2 sequels to it so I can try to sell more of a universe or a trilogy.
Right. And
kind of give it to maybe, I'm thinking of Netflix maybe.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. It's cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So what is the one thing you want your audience to know about you?
The biggest thing that I think is really important to know about me is, and especially with the production company I'm trying to get started for my own brand specifically, we have Penny Arcade Pictures with me and my brother, but my brand, which is Space Cowboy Pictures, is I am all about making sure people's visions get made and they enjoy what they're making. Because I said, the worst thing in the world is when you get brought onto a project and it gets diluted and it doesn't end up being the thing you want.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing for a creator is to be able to make the vision that you want and the thing that you want for your project. So I think anyone that works with me I can promise that is what will happen and what I want to have happen with any project I work on or help with or am involved with.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is, yeah.
That is so good. Before we go, where can people find you in cyberspace?
I am on Instagram. I believe I'm going to be getting back on Twitter soon. And I also, once I move into my new place, I'm going to be getting back into Twitch streaming on my account, which is Alex Archer HD. Streaming every few days, playing some games, talking about movies, talking about where my life's at, talking about the world ending, typical stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank
you
you
so much.
We've enjoyed the
Thank you so much.
Will you come back once you have some more projects and things going on? We'd love to have you on over and over so you guys can talk Star Wars and the future, the Rebel Alliance, Armageddon that's going on, whatever.
Yeah.
Typical stuff. I'd be honored. It'd be awesome to be here again.
We would love to have you back. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me so much.
Did you guys enjoy Alex? We had a blast. Hope you guys did too. All right. Tune in next time. Peace.